Good evening, students. Today we will talk about the how we can introduce the time delay uh, for any processor. Okay, so our topic of discussion for today is that how you can introduce the time delay. So first we will talk about the our first processor is 8085 microprocessor. Actually, we can understand that time delay can be why the time delay is required. For example, if I'm having one event, I'm saying I am having the event, I am calling this event as a event 1 and I am calling the event 2. I have the two different event, and this event is suppose that if I am having the bulb, if I am having bulb and this bulb should be on, and this event 2 says this bulb should be off. Okay, but between these two events I will say that I have the some delay. For example, if I want that after the 5 second this bulb should be off. Okay, so this amount of the time is called delay. Why it is called the delay? Because this event one you are controlling with the help of the some software programming. Event 2 you are also controlling with the some software programming, and in between this you want to introduce the some time event. Okay, and this time event is nothing but some amount of the delay you want to introduce, and this delay is desired delay because you want, this is your requirement, so I am writing as it is desired delay. Okay, so I will come to the next important point is that first of all the delay can be introduced with the help of some software techniques. If I talk about the 8085 microprocessor, the meaning of the software technique on here is that by using the assembly language programming. Okay, you can do with the help of some assembly language programming. Now come to the point on here is that very important point. Any instruction, if I'm talking about any instruction, each and every instruction is composed of machine cycle. I'm writing as a machine cycle, and these machine cycles may be possible that it may be cycle or cycles, so I'm writing as a machine cycle, and this instruction will also take some t states, and you know the definition is what is a t state. T state is called as a one subdivision of the operation is performed in a one clock period. Okay, so this is called once a one t state. So why the t state is required? The t state is required to calculate the execution time. So execution time can be given as the number of t states multiplied by 1 upon the clock frequency of that processor. So I am writing the clock frequency. Okay, we will give the emphasis on this formula. Why? Because this says that uh, if I'm talking about any processor, each and every processor will work on some fixed amount of the frequency. This is very clear. For example, if I talk about the 8085 microprocessor, it will works on 3.02 megahertz. Okay, so now come to the point on here. Some instruction will take 70 states, some instruction will take 40 states, some instruction will take the 18t states. So it depend upon the nature of the operation of that instruction, that how much amount of the t states consumed by that instruction. Now we can think about, if I am considering it is fixed for a processor, then the number of t states will normally define the number of, if I'm saying if this thing is I am taking as a constant, if I'm taking this thing as a constant, okay, if number of t states are increasing, If the number of T states are increasing, then the number of execution times are increasing. But if I'm talking about any instruction, the number of T states for any instruction is, I want to say the number of T states is fixed for any instruction. Okay, so what we can do, what you can do, because execution time, you can think about the some factor is coming of time. So this time can be useful on there, that you can introduce the some delay. So this execution time will be helpful to calculate the delay. Okay, so I'm writing here helpful for calculating delay. Okay, so on the other hand, here also I'm writing that this execution time is, we can say, the directly proportional to the number of the T states. If the number of T states are more, then the execution time will be more. Okay, so it's very important that how much amount of the delay you want to give on there. Okay, so the thing is that we can introduce the delay by using different type of techniques in the 8085 microprocessor. The first one is called using register method. Okay. Second one, using register pair method. Another thing is that nesting of register method. We can do nesting of register pair method, or the fifth one says that you can make a combination of these two also, combination of, you can say, combination of 4 and 5. We can make a combination. I will show you that how you can introduce the delay. Okay, so one very important point, I am again say that if you want to increase the delay, or if you want to introduce the delay, you have to remember that there are two important factors. First factor is called as the number of the T states. Another one is that you have to remember that the clock frequency of that microprocessor. Okay, so I am coming to the next one, is that if suppose, if I'm talking about that, if I read writing some instructions. So if I'm writing some instruction, so instructions are always written by using counter method. So the question rises on here is that you want to introduce the delay, but you are using the counter method. Why it's so? Because the thing is that if you are writing any instruction, for example, if I'm saying I am having the one instruction, for example, MVIC, and I'm taking one 8-bit data, for example, 08H. So the total amount of the T state that is consumed by this instruction is, I hope that you know, the 7 T states. Okay, so if I'm considering the execution time of this instruction, so this can be equal to execution time ET can be given as 7 by the clock frequency of the microprocessor. Suppose this is 3 megahertz. So it will give roughly some microsecond here, and it is something near about 2.3 microsecond, near about, if I'm saying. Okay, you can check it. Maybe possible that there's some correction maybe needed on here, is that. Okay, so now come to the point. It's a very minimum amount. Okay, if I introduce the counter method, okay, so we will talk about some down counter. First of all, down counter. So down counter says that you take a count value. If I'm taking the same example, I'm taking 8-bit count value. Okay, Then next step says decrease it. Okay, next step says check it until it becomes 0. Okay, so check it, I'm writing as check it. So check it says that you have to continuously decrease it. So I'm using one loop. So this is the loop. So loop, this is the loop. So ultimately this loop says that you are increasing the number of t states by using the some loop technique. Okay, so if the number of t states are increasing, then obviously we can say that my execution time will be increases. Okay, so I will take the one example of this one. So the first one I am using, for example, the first method. I am taking the maximum possibility for the same example. I am taking the maximum 8-bit count as this one. Sorry. And you can note down the size of this one is 8-bit. Okay. The step says that you have to decrease it. So I am using the instruction DCRC and I am writing, I will check it until it becomes the, so I am writing as a loop, as a label. Okay, so this label is terminated down here and you know that the label is nothing but a program counter location. So if I am writing the number of t states consumed by each of the instruction, so it is 7, it is 4. Okay, this instruction will take the 10 t states if the condition is satisfied. Okay, so it is saying that you have to decrement it, decrement the count value c. Okay, and check the value of this count value c until it becomes the 0. So if the condition is satisfied, then it will take the total t states, 10 t states. If the condition is not satisfying, so obviously it will try to come out of the loop. So here we can say in this case it will take the 10 t states. So I will tell you that how we can do the calculation for the same program. So I will write down the total delay, time delay. So I'm writing the total delay. Here there are two conditions. Here we can say this is the time taken into the loop and this is the time taken outside of the loop. So I'm saying outside and this is within loop. Within a loop. Okay, so I am writing that the total combination will be combination of T naught plus TL. Okay, T naught plus TL. Okay, so we can think about that the total number of the T states consumed outside of the delay is 7 T states. First, we will always remember that you have to calculate the amount of the T states consumed in the program. Okay, but when you are going to consume inside to this one, we can say on here is that if condition is satisfied, 4 and 10, 4 plus 10, okay, and this is running, this is continuously in loop and the loop is will run up to this count value. So if I am writing the count value on here, if I multiply the whole thing by FFH, okay, this is FFH. So especially I am taking this one as a one bracket. I will take one more bracket here because I not consider here the last, because in the last t state it will run less than 3 t states. Okay, now one important thing is that here we are considering the t states, we can say the t states in decimal, but here we are taking the number of the count value in the hexadecimal. So we can say 7 plus bracket, again the bracket, this is 14 and the equivalent of this one, we can say the equivalent of this one in decimal is 255. So I'm writing this is 255 and then bracket close minus 3. So you can note down that the total amount of t states, total amount of the t states are how much? What is the total amount of the t states? Now we can say the total amount of t states by calculating on here is that it will become 3, 5, 6. Okay, so this is the total t states. Total t states. Okay, so if I want to calculate the delay, here we can calculate the delay. So we can think about that the total delay can be written as t states divided by 1 upon clock frequency. Okay, so the if I using the same formula, I will say that the total amount of this t states is 3567 divided by 3.02 megahertz. So it will give me the total amount of delay as 1.19 millisecond. Okay, so I will again recall what is the step. First you have to write down some procedure by using the down counter, and remember that we have used one register R. Okay, we have load the maximum value of 8-bit count in the hexadecimal into this register C, and we have decremented unless and until it becomes the 0. It becomes the 0, it will automatically come. Then we can say this program will run into the loop. So if the program is running into the loop, then obviously it will introduce the some delay. Okay, the second step says that you have to calculate the total t states, how much the t states consumed by the program. Okay, so we have taken the two type of the t states. First one is we can say outside and we can say within loop. So outside this MVIC FFH will take the total 7 t states, but internally this loop will be run up to the maximum amount of this count value. So we can, I have written that if the condition is satisfying, it will take 4 plus 10, 14 t states here, and but this loop will be continued till this count value will become the 0. Okay, but in the last case it will run for the 7 times. So for the 7 times we can say if this loop is running, then at the last stage it will run not the 10 times, it will run 7 times. So 7 times means the total amount minus with the 3. Okay, so we can calculate the total amount of the t states by using the same one, and finally we have calculated the execution time of this complete program. So this execution time I have written as et can be written as delay. So the delay can be given, or the execution time can be given as the total number of the t states divided by the clock frequency of the microprocessor. Okay, I will do a little bit change on here is that if suppose this delay is still minimum delay because it is coming as a 1.19 millisecond, so you can think about that what extra technique you can use. Okay, so I will suggest you that if you want to increase the delay, then you can do one more thing on here is that you can do one more thing on here. The same program, if I am taking, I want to, my purpose is that I want to increase the amount of the time delay. So I want to increase the delay. Again, definitely step says that decrement it. Okay, and you can introduce some instruction that I had discussed in the class is called as a no operation. Okay, because you want to increase the number of the t states. So number of the t states can be increased by writing the NOP instruction. NOP instruction will do nothing. It will not affect any value of the accumulator or register or any flag, etc. But it is normally used to increase the amount of the t states. Okay, and here you are putting the condition just like J and Z loop. Okay, and the loop is terminating here. So I will write down the t states on here. So t state said that it will take the 7 t states 4 t states, 4 t states, and you know very well that it will take 10 oblique 7 t states. So this is the total amount of the t states given by this. So you can think about that. Again, I am considering this is the outside of the loop t states. This is the inside of this t states. Now you can think about that. The inside is increasing. The inside is increasing by a factor of 4. So you can write down that the total number of the t states can be written as T naught plus TL. So this T naught is 7 plus TL says that you have to write down the same thing, but here he is writing 4 plus 4 plus 10 means 18. Multiply the with the maximum amount of the count is 255. It is not required that you take maximum amount of, because I am showing you the maximum value for this, the count value. Okay, and minus 3, so it will come near about some 4594, and finally the delay can be given by the t states divided by fc. So here if I am saying 4594, if I divide it by 3 megahertz, it will say it will come as 1.3 millisecond. Okay, so now you can introduce so much amount of the NOP instruction. If you want to increase the, you can think about that. In the previously we have discussed the, or without NOP we are getting the time delay is 1.19 millisecond, but here we are getting the total amount time delay is now somewhat increased by using the NOP. If you are increasing one more NOP on here, in the third case, if I want to increase one more NOP, then the time delay will be increased by 1.87. So this will be exercise for you. I am writing, do the exercise, and this exercise should be like that: one more NOP, and check that the time delay, I am writing delay, is coming as 1.87 millisecond. Please check it. So this will be the exercise for you. So I hope that the first method is clear to all of you. Now I will talk about the second method. The second method say by using register pair method. Okay, so same procedure is that you have to make the down counter using this register pair, but it is a little bit tricky. The tricky says that how you can do it. So consider that if I'm taking one register pair, I'm taking because I want to use the register pair, so that's why if I want to load a count value, I will use this instruction LXIB type of instruction. And suppose initially I have loaded very small amount of the count as 04H. Okay, the second step, as you know that we have to decrement the value of this LXIB, but here it is register pair. So I am saying that if it is a register pair RP, the B value will be 00 and the C value will be 04H. Now the consider on here, if I am giving the instruction just DCXB to decrement this register pair, okay, so this B will decrement it to 00. Okay, but here I cannot put the condition of J and Z because it is a 16-bit value. You know that if I am decreasing this value, this will become 0003H. Okay, if I am decreasing it, so this instruction will try to decrement it 0003H, but it is a 16-bit value. So my J and Z type instruction will not work at all. So what extra trick I can follow, especially in this case of this one, is that I will load down, sorry, I will load this value of this LSB register. into the accumulator. So I am writing move a comma c. So the c value is copied into the a. Now I will do the ORing with the b. So here we can say the ORing is performed between the accumulator and the content of the b. So if I am saying, so my accumulator will be loaded with the value of 03, and finally it is ORing with the value of 03. So if it is ORing with the 00, b will be having the value of 00. It is ORing with this 03. So you can think in binary it will be again 03. Okay, so if I'm putting the condition on here j in z loop, so this loop will be terminated here. Okay, so this is the one of the example of this down counter. So now we can think about that. Again it will decrement the value of this uh, dcxb, so it will become 0002. Again the same procedure will be followed, the answer will be 02 here. Okay, again it will be in the next, it will be again decrement, next value will be 01. Okay, and at the last we can say when we are ORing, this zero flag will be set. Instead of reset, it will be set, and the finally it will come out of the loop. So it will become the 00. Okay. So now come to the point on here. This loop will be continue till the value of these two registers becomes the 00. Okay, you can. So that's why I taken the minimum amount of the count value is 0004. So first we will think about the how amount of the t states, because the t states play a very important role on here. Is that I am writing the t states for each instruction. The number of t states consumed by this one is 10. Number of t states consumed by this one is 6. This is 4. This is 4. And this is again we can say 10/7. Okay. I hope that the concept is clear to all of you. Why we are introducing these two instructions, because we want this register pair which is made up of the two different parts B and C. We are trying to decrement it first, and then later on we are trying to decrement it, and we will compare it that the both the will become the 00. Okay, so that's why we will follow this trick. Okay, because it is decrementing the 16-bit register value, so 16-bit register value will be 0. So again the same procedure will be followed. We can think about that the outside, we can say the total amount the t states we can say is the combination of outside of the loop plus inside of the loop. Okay, so outside of the loop the total amount of t state is 10, and we can go for inside of this one. So we can say 6 plus 4 10 14, and then it is 24. Okay, so this 24 is running, and we can think about that the total number of the t, we can calculate on here the total amount of the, so we can think about this one. So this 24 times it will run, and you can calculate the value of this 004 into the we can say in decimal. So obviously it is 0004, so the his decimal value will be also becomes the 4, and we can think that at the last we can say it will run for less than 3 t states, like this. So we can calculate, you can calculate it, the value of, I can assume that the value is coming as a x, because this computation value is coming as like we can say x. So I assume that it is coming as a 103. So total number of the t state is coming as a 103. So I will do my calculation here is that the total number of the delay, we can say the total amount of the delay can be given as the total t states divided by the fc. So we can think about that this will come as a 103 divided by 3 megahertz. So we can say it is coming as 3 times, so this become 34.3 in microsecond. So you can think about that. If I'm using this method, we can say that the amount of delay is introduced by somewhat little bit more. You can think about that. In the last case it was coming as a 1.53 millisecond. If you are using the register pair method, now the delay is increased by 34.3 microsecond. Okay, now if I change the value, if I change the value, okay, so for example, if I change the value for here, we can say that if this values change it to 1000h.